The School Resource Officer program, before its launch in February last year, had initially proposed arming the probation officers with guns on school campuses. But that idea was immediately criticized, and many in the community protested the idea of guns on campus. That was then, when the horror of school shootings had not yet been thoroughly explored on Guam. But now, with the recent Newtown, Connecticut school shooting that shook the nation, the topic may just be revisited.
Well, I hope so. I mean, of course, at this point, the Guam Education Board has made the decision that school resource officers will not be armed on DOE campuses. But again, given some of the changes in our climate with Sandy Hook massacre, it's possible that could be revisited.
Department of Education Administrator of Student Support Services Chris Sanderson thinks the reason why the idea of armed officers was shot down a year ago could be because of a lack of education on the qualifications of school resource officers. SROs are probation officers assigned to schools. They're already trained to carry guns as part of their uniform, and their training is not that different from other law enforcement officials who carry guns. Anderson says it will take DOE having to look at the subject again, given the changes the nation is facing with gun reform, but he also says the community can get involved as well.
If the community is on board and supportive of school resource officers being armed, I'm sure the Board of Education would relook at the issue. From an internal standpoint, it's always important, because we have new board members now anyways, to be able to do a presentation so they fully understand the objectives of the program.
In addition, Anderson says the matter is worth discussing because school communities all across America are exploring the idea of putting armed guards on school campuses or arming teachers and training them on how to effectively take down a gunman. Last year, the Guam Education Board felt DOE wasn't ready to arm its SROs with guns.
We did a presentation for the former board. Of course, they assessed the situation and made the determination that we weren't ready at this point to do that. So with the new board.
What did they base that on?
Well, I mean, I don't have a complete answer for you, just that they felt that at this point we were not ready as a department to go forward with having armed officers on campus.
Anderson says the Judiciary of Guam conducted a survey of its SRO program 4 months after it's launched last February. While the survey found students and staff felt safer with SROs on campus, there was limited participation in the survey. Some schools only assessed less than 10% of its student population. Anderson also says it's too early to measure how effective the SRO program has been in reducing school violence.
Sometimes when you start a new program, you don't necessarily see the results during the first year, primarily because maybe things are more heightened and you have a lot more reporting going on. So if you look at the results, the data may show that we actually have an increase in level 3 offenses. But that may not necessarily be attributed to, again, the idea that the SRO program is not having a reduction or the effect of reducing those kind of offenses.